Hey guys, Master Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today, do we have an epic video for you? So, tier lists are a thing that get done quite often. Truth always starts off the year by making his ones. He's been putting those out, and they always get a lot of attention and a lot of feedback, both negative and positive, pretty much all the time. I did do a video reacting to his top TURs one, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But what nobody in the community has been brave enough to do is to bring you the one tier list that you know that you need to see. Maybe you probably didn't even know you needed to see it, but now you do. And I realize I'm hyping this up like it's like a big surprise, but you'll just be able to know already by the title and the thumbnail what it is. So I've decided to bring my boy Minato along for the ride. So say hello.
Hello, you guys are gonna hate the tier list. We're gonna bring the spiciest takes here. We're gonna get all things riled up. If you think Truth gets hate for his tier list, you already are gonna know. This one is gonna blow him out of the water. This one's gonna be crazy, and we cannot wait to go ahead and hop right into this. We're gonna do this right and proper. Can I go ahead and say what I think we should firstly be in the greats category? Which, by the way, it's technically Pogyu, but this man right here doesn't like that word.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, this a boomer boy right here doesn't like the word Pogyu, so I'll go with greats, right? This is his channel. Anyways,
yeah, any form of Pog. I'm a boomer. Like I was saying to Minato before, it's like when people say "lol" out loud. Like I grew up with this word only being a very new internet slang word, so when I hear people say "pog" out loud, it makes me kind of cringe a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but
well, to be honest, anyways.
Yeah. So support memories. So come on then, Minato. I know you're itching to tell us. Then what is the best support memory in the game that has to go straight into the great section?
Well, yeah. I would say if only there was a hybrid Saiyans one, but I don't believe there's actually a hybrid Saiyans support memory, which is,
No.
You know why, that team is too powerful to get a support memory.
Of course.
Anyways.
Why am I not surprised that you got a hybrid Saiyans plug in here?
Well, we had to, obviously, right? But continuing on, I think there's one support memory I definitely want to go ahead and just move over to the top tier. That's that most support memory right there. If you see that Bulma that she's smiling right there, that one is a pretty good one. Unironically, like, no jokes aside, it's one of the best, like, support memories in the game. Giving you a heal if you have pure Saiyans by 40% if you fall low in HP, or even just on turn 4, without a pure Saiyans category ally. It's very, very good for these difficult content, and it'll definitely allow you to do really well.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty solid one. Obviously, I feel like, you get the most benefit out of it from shorter content like Super Battle Road or the God event. Obviously, you could take big damage from a super in the early turns, but in something like a much longer event like the Legendary Vegeta event, you probably don't really need a heal on turn 4, but definitely for short content, very, very good, especially because it will trigger, like you said, early if you have a pure Saiyan on the team. So especially for Super Battle Road, can be very, very useful. So starting off then, we are going to take a look at the first red one here, which is the Oolong's Wish. Chance of obtaining bonus rewards, 50% in events with a bonus drop. So any story stage or anything like that where you get bonus for using a specific category to get extra drops, this basically increases that bonus percentage, so it gives you more chance to get drops. I mean, I don't know about you, but straight away, I think this one just goes in mid, because there's another one that does the same thing, which is slightly better, and it's not like a huge boost. What do you think?
I mean, the only really good thing about it is the panties. Outside of that, it's fine, right? But it's not like, like, oh my god, I can't wait to use the Oolong support memory. Heck yeah, right?
Yeah.
You just
right? Yeah, it's a useful tool to use when you're farming something, but you just you get like 2 uses out of it, and then you're
it'll
done.
save you like 3 minutes or something. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It might save you like one extra run potentially, but again, it's only adding to the RNG, so you could use this and still. I've used this before and then had a run where I got less of the medals drop than on a run where I didn't use one. So it's still
Yep.
RNG related. So it is one of the
Not
only
bad.
red film ones that we have. So at least you're not missing out on much. But yeah, it's not particularly crazy. So next up, we have the only other red one that is. I say available, but technically this one isn't available on Global or JP. So this is the Goku Gets Married. It is Goku Family Allies Attack and Defense 10%, and it is just a permanent buff. So should be pretty obvious, and I don't imagine you'll argue with me that this just goes straight into great.
I mean, if anyone argues that it's not great, they're just strong and they're bad at Dokkan, right? It's like, do you guys think buffing Goku's family permanently is good, right?
Yeah, one of the best well, I say the best, but yeah, one of the categories that has a huge wealth of some of the best units in the game in it.
You can say it's one of the best categories, so obviously, right? It just, and no matter what, the thing is that you don't have to use it on just Goku Family. You could just use it on any other team that you're running like a billion Gokus or Gohans.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like if you're running a team where, if you're running a team where even one of your main rotations are both Goku Family units, and because it's a permanent buff, especially in longer events, this is going to be better than some of the other ones that only give you a buff like right at the beginning. So yeah, this is very good. I imagine we'll probably get a Vegeta Family one soon. Well, I say soon, but as I said, this one isn't even available on JP because you have to collect the pieces of it by doing the new Super Battle Road stages that are releasing one at a time now rather than in batches of 10. Global's actually going to get their first one at the start of next week. So it's going to be a while till you can get this, and then I assume there'll be a Vegeta Family one after that, but I guess you never know. So moving on to the yellow ones, we have Friezas Fury, which is Extreme Class Allies attack 15% for one turn when there is a Super Class enemy once only. So what do you think about this one?
I mean, I would say with support memories, I much prefer having effects like Ki and defense on there over just attack. Yep. Although it can be nice, it is also still technically situational because you have to be against a super class enemy, and it's for one turn. It's like one of the first support memories introduced, right? So it's not gonna be that great compared to others. I would say it's mid. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not like
Yeah, I agree. Super Battle Road, it could be nice to get a little bit of extra attack in turn one. You might maybe finish off one of the enemies that you might not have before. But obviously in things like long events, you probably just one turn the first enemy anyway. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's better than nothing, obviously. But yeah, I think mid is a good place for it. So, next up we have Secret Feelings, which is Majin Buu Saga category allies key +2 for 2 turns from the start of the battle. So 2 key for 2 turns on a team that has a lot of different units with a lot of different link sets. So you like this one, Minato?
Yeah, I would say so because, like, again, say you don't have like every single unit right in the Majin Buu Saga team, but you have to use like Super Saiyan 3 Go tanks with Tech Gohan with like AGL Buu tanks or something, right? And those units just don't link the best together in terms of key, obviously, but they make sure like some attack links some here and there, right? And that 2 key could be very important for you. And given that's such a large category, you'll definitely be able to get used for it. I know for sure, like Videl, right? This came out around when Videl came out, and that was clear. The reason why is because it was to help with the key issues on that team.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
So I definitely think it's a very good one.
I would say good.
I would say good. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say good. Because then that leaves us with this next one, which is the birth of the strongest pair on the planet. And this one is all allies key +2 for 2 turns from the start of the battle. So it's basically the same as the previous one, except it's all allies. And it actually costs less film as well. So, I mean, for all the reasons why this one is in good, this one is better than this one. So I feel like we could probably go ahead and put this one in great. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, it just applies the same thing I said about the Majin Buu Saga one, but to like every single
team
category, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we all know not every team is like prepared for battle, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, like everywhere, right? There could always be some weird linking stuff, like like say like you're running a Broly unit on like movie bosses, and you're running like Janemba or something like that with them. That 2 key can help you for a lot. Because I'll share some attack links and stuff, right? That's the thing. I think Ki is such a important thing and such a great thing to get support with
Yep.
for a lot of these teams. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, especially with the sheer number of LRs that we have in the game now, and like you said, you can definitely mix and match them on teams where they might not have as many key links, and then this would be super useful. So, like I said, for all the reasons why this Videl one is in good, I feel like this would be in great, because it's just this one but better. So, so next up we have Transcend the Super Saiyan. So this one is Super Saiyan's category allies attack and defense 10%, or Super Saiyan 2 category allies attack and defense 20% for 2 turns from the start of the battle once only. So this one is an interesting one. It gives a decent buff, and it is for 2 turns. What do you think about this one?
I think it's definitely a good one. Super Saiyans has gone so many buffs this year. It's hard for me to decide between good or great. The Super Saiyan 2 buff for 20%, again, that's the highest we've seen a Super Memory buff. Honestly, I would probably even argue it could fit in great, just because there's a lot of like good characters currently that are Super Saiyans, right? I mean, surprise. I just think the only issue that Super Saiyans 2 is not the best category right now, and there's no like Super Saiyan 2 Super Battle Road stage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like when Super Saiyan 2 gets its own Super Battle Road stage, this is probably like the go-to support memory to run for that stage. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely either good or great. What do you think?
I would say, just because I learned Namek Goku, put it in great, though. It's very, very good for future.
I mean, that is true, because, I mean, to be fair, like, you think about, like, the rotation of Namek Goku with the AGL LR Gohan, who is technically on Super Saiyan 2 as well, so it's giving that rotation a massive buff, so... Yeah, we can go ahead and put it in great, especially, like I say, once Super Saiyan 2 gets the Super Battle Road stage, it's, like, the go-to one for that, I think, so I'm happy to put it there. So, next up we have Frieza. We have power level 530,000. This is Planet Namek Saga category, extreme class allies, attack and defense, 15% in battle. I think we can just go ahead and park this up here.
I mean, we might as well move the other one up there, too.
Yeah, true. So, Warrior Awakened through Fury is the same thing, but super class. So, yeah, 15% attack and defense for the entire event. I mean, it's worth using these even if only half your team is from that category.
Like, literally, it's supporting, like, my personal opinion, the number 1 and 2 units in the game. You know, said it was going to be controversial. They're better than UI Goku. Anyways, even then, they're still one of the better units of the game. They're like on a billion teams. Planet Namek Saga, it's not like the best category ever. But there's so many units that are on so many categories in that team, and they all synergize pretty well. So I think the support member is really good.
Oh yes, yeah, it gives massive buffs. And just like we said with the previous one for like the Super Saiyans, even if only like half your team is Namek Saga, like on a Wicked Bloodline team or a Transformation Boost team, if you're running that rotation with like Full Power Frieza and the Third Form Frieza, there's the Int Frieza who's a good tank against Goku Family. Like there's a bunch of units that could benefit from this support memory. So yeah, these two definitely belong in there. I think most of the permanent ones are probably going to end up being in great. Just spoiler alert, because whilst they are situational to the specific teams, like that's just such a great buff to have. So I think that's a pretty straightforward one. So next up we have Gohan's Tears, which is Goku Family allies attack and defense 10% for 2 turns from the start of battle. So this one is interesting because this one gives you the exact same buff as the Goku Gets Married one, except it's only for 2 turns. But obviously, like we said, the Goku one is not actually technically available yet. So, what do you think?
I would say since it's not available right now, and Goku Family is so like strong, it's great. I would say great. But I would say once the Goku Chi-Chi one gets out, I always say Goku Momo, what the hell? the Goku and Chi-Chi one, once that one becomes available, then it could be moved on to good. I just think it's the only one you could use right now for Goku Family.
Yeah.
I think it's fine enough to being great. But I could at the same time, it's only 2 turns compared to the other one we have, so I wouldn't mind if it's in good.
Yeah, I feel like what we should do then really is I agree with you, but what we'll do, I'm going to put it in good because technically, in theory, then this Goku one shouldn't really even be in great because it's not available. So because we're ranking it based on what it does, I feel like we
That's
just
true.
go by
Very
the
true.
going by the idea that you could use this one instead. We'll put this one in good because it is still very good, but yeah, it's only for 2 turns, so we'll put
Yep.
that one in good for now. So we've talked about the Bulma one, Curious Destiny. So now we have Captain Ginyu's Super Fighting Pose. This one is extreme class allies attack and defense 10% for 2 turns when there is a super class enemy once only. So we obviously put the Frieza one in mid because that is 15% but only for 1 turn. This is 10% for 2 turns. So
I think this is good. Just going straight away, just because you're always going to face superclass enemies, giving both attack and defense for 2 turns. Just a good support memory compared to what we have.
Yep.
Nothing really to say about that, right? It's very
Yeah.
broad.
Yeah, I'm happy to agree with that because, like I say, my main issues with the 1 turn ones, like I said, is whilst they can be really helpful in the shorter events, like longer events, you just don't need a buff on turn 1. But obviously, if you are 1-turning the first phase, this does help you beat the second phase slightly faster as well. Still not a crazy buff for long form events, but obviously in Super Battle Road, it's even more valuable because it's giving you 2 turns. Or the God event, obviously. I always just say Super Battle Road, but any short events, it's going to be very good. So next up we have this Trunks one, Bonds Built from the Past. This one is Vegeta Family category allies attack and defense 10% in battle for 2 turns from the start of the battle. So obviously this is the equivalent to the Gohan's Tears one, except that we don't have a permanent Vegeta Family one yet. So based on what we were saying about the Gohan one, do you think this one should go into great?
I would say I think Goku Family is like a better category.
Oh,
Vegeta
100%,
Family,
yeah. My boy
but
Vegeta always
Family,
getting shafted.
Vegeta's Family is still obviously very good. It's gotten a lot of buffs this year. I would say since the Goku Family one isn't good, we probably should put the Vegeta one in good.
Yeah.
I just think it makes sense because Vegeta Family is not going to be as wide as Goku Family.
No.
That's just the reality of the game right now. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, because
That's just how it is.
it's always the big memes. Like whenever they release Goku and Vegeta units that are sort of like counterparts to each other, 99% of the time the Goku one is better. But it even kind of extends to the category, because obviously, since so many times the Goku units are better than Vegeta units, then it means the Goku Family category by default pretty much is better than the Vegeta Family. And then you take into account the fact that there's so many more characters. Because we have Gohan and Goten, and we have like Bardock, whereas obviously Vegeta Family, you only have Trunks. There's like one Buller, and then I mean, I'm gonna say there's one King Vegeta, but I mean, until they actually do EZA those Super Strike cards, you can't even really use him. And then I guess there is one Tarball as well, but yeah, that category is nowhere near as fleshed out as the Goku Family category. So,
and I want to say again, if you notice, a lot of the 2-turn restriction ones aren't good, right? And a lot of the ones at the top, most permanent, unless there's like really special exceptions to it, I feel like, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that seems
I guess
fair.
we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. This one is the Pull Out the Tail. It gives superclass allies 15% attack for 1 turn when there's an extreme class enemy. I would say, honestly, it's probably bad. Just because, I don't know. I would say put it in mid at the very least, probably.
Yeah,
'Cause
I was
we're
gonna
get that
say-
new event soon. I just feel like you face extreme class enemies so less often, but
Yep.
you use super class allies. Like you use super class units so much more often as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that's why. That's really it. I mean, we can't explain with the Frieza one. It's just a little situational.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the Frieza one, but like you said, it's kind of less useful because it's not as often like that you're fighting extreme class enemies. I mean, obviously Super Battle Road stages, they have the same sort of viability, but currently the hardest longer form events in the game are all against super type enemies. So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely not great. So I'm happy with putting it in mid. So next up we have the Para Brothers one. This one is seals all enemies super attack when HP is 88% or more, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of the battle. So I want to hear what you have to say about this one, but for me, I want to just put this one straight in bad.
It sucks.
Yeah.
it's by the time you get to turn 3, you're either again because it's a ceiling effect, so you're not really going to use it in short and long difficult content, especially since it's also in turn 3. The fact that you have to be above 88% HP by then, very unlikely. And the fact is that you can't say, "Oh, just use an item and heal," ha ha ha, because you have to enter the turn with being above 80.
Yeah, so it doesn't work anyway.
So it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be very uncommon. And Sailing is nice on turn 3, but by the time you get to turn 3, most of the enemies are gonna be just done already.
Yep.
You're gonna be like one or two, like one enemy at like 70% HP or 50% HP or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of the worst design support members.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel like. When I first looked at it and like obviously thought, will I ever use this? It's exactly that. Is you're either on turn 3, you're either in an event where you can't seal the enemy, or you're about to probably kill the last enemy. So it does seem kind of pointless. But so next up we have the Bulla is Shopping, which is basically the buffed version of the Oolong one that we talked about earlier. Obviously, when I'm farming anything. This one does cost 120 reels, so you can't use like 2 in a row. But whenever I'm farming anything, I pretty much always just use this and then use the 2 Oolong ones afterwards. I don't know if that makes it good enough to put in good. I would probably still put it in mid, because it's only just for farming. And again, like the Oolong one, it increases the RNG percentage, but you could still get like bad rolls off of it. So
I mean,
mid.
I would still say mid, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's just there, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to have. So you're definitely gonna use it more than like the Power Brothers one, even more than like the Frieza and Goku. I feel like you'll end up using it more. But the issue is that it's not like that. It's like
So it's just a tool to help you
almost
farming, isn't
unneeded
it?
effects,
Yeah,
right?
it's not like game changing in any way. So
Yep.
yeah, no,
Alright,
that's fair.
This next one, if you let me, I'll go ahead and say it.
Mhm.
This next one is actually the In Unison Piccolo Dende. It's actually very interesting. It randomly changes the key spheres of a certain type, excluding physical to physical key spheres, and it gives GT Heroes category 20% attack and defense for 1 turn. However, this is starting from the 3rd turn from start of battle. So, I personally would say it's a good effect, right? Because it just does so much. Orb changers, which I don't believe any other support member orb changes. And actually, I was wrong about the Super Saiyan 2 one, because this does give GT Heroes 20% attack and defense, which is a fantastic buff, right?
Yep.
Like, because, yeah, guys have to keep in mind, this is like B-Pan kind of buffs, right? 20% attack and defense like that is very good, right?
Yeah, because it's on top of everything else, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, I think this is a good support member for like the God event or something like that, right? Whereas like for Battle Road, you get to like turn 4 or 3, but in like the God event, you can get to like turn. I still feel like more so like 5, 6, right? But yeah, I would say that it's good in Super Battle Road too. Just the 3rd turn is really the only thing that really is kind of
Because for me,
right?
see,
in long event, you're not gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because at first I was immediately thinking, I wanted to hear what you had to say, because this is obviously fairly new on Global. I think this might be one of the latest ones that came out on Global. And when I read what it did, I thought it was kind of mid. Because in longer events, the 3rd turn is too early for you to really care about having this kind of big buff, because it's not like turn 3, you're already at a part where the event is difficult. And then, as we said, Super Battle Road, turn 3, you're potentially getting close to wrapping it up. And it does only affect one team. I know, like, a lot of these, the ones that we've put in great, only affect one team. But, I don't know, for this one doesn't seem that great to me.
I think it's just the fact that it's such a good buff.
It's like such a good effect, but the restriction is so odd. But I'll let you decide. I think I would probably put it in mid based on the fact that I've never used it. But I do appreciate that the effect is very good. So I'll let you decide.
I've used it, actually, yeah, like, I've used it before. I like trying on GT Heroes in like the God event specifically.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're gonna get another event very similar to the God event that has 14 stages for the anniversary, I think it's gonna be pretty useful for running the GT Heroes category team.
Okay. Plus, I guess one of the anniversary units is the new fusing Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who is going to be a GT hero. So, should we put it in good then for now? I feel like
I'll take it.
I can jive with that. Okay. So the last blue one we have here isn't this? I think the latest one that came out on JP, or at least one of the Goku becomes a child. So this is reduce all enemies' attack and defense by 5% for 2 turns from the start of the battle when there is a Goku Family category enemy. Further reduce all enemies' attack and defense by 5% once only.
It does nothing, right? 10% attack reduction. Ooh, whoa! Unless you're pairing it with another unit that like lowers all enemies' attack. Like if it's like with like Esther Rose or Esther Omega, sure. But there's like not. It's not like there's many like units that do that in the first place.
Yeah.
It just and the effect by itself is at that point you might as well run something that gives you more like actual defense, and you'll probably end up just tanking better than if you just had the attack lowering, right?
Plus,
if
it's
they wanted this to be good, it should have been at least 10% for each one.
Yeah, and it's 170 reels as well, which feels like a lot for what it does. So, would you say this one is mid, or would you say it's bad?
Bad.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm going to affirm to the JP player's opinion here since it's not out on Global. But just by reading what it does, I definitely agree. I feel like even some of these ones that we've put in mid that are giving you like an attack buff for 1 turn. Because obviously like the defense nerf is just kind of pointless. And then, yeah, the attack nerf, it's not a lot. And like you said, it could be good if you combined it with other units that do that as well. But yeah. Plus you have to have a Goku Family category enemy. So it's even more restrictive because in something like the Goku event, you know, you can't even really lower attack after the first phase. So, yeah, I think I would agree with bad. So, next up we have the orange one here. So we have the first one, the Whiss one. This is one of the OG ones as well. All allies key +3 for 1 turn on the 3rd turn from the start of the battle. So we've talked about how useful key is and how good key buffs are, but like I feel like this one is mid for a lot of the reasons that we talked about. I mean, I could even maybe be convinced that it's bad because, like we said, in long form events, turn 3, I mean, do you really need a key buff on turn 3? And then like Super Battle Road, again, the event is nearly over. It just feels really odd. Like key +3 is a nice buff, but on turn 3 seems very strange to me. So what do you think?
I mean, again, I think it's another support memory that's more in line with the God event, just like the GT Heroes one. I know that you don't like you know the God event as much. Like you played it once and you haven't really played it after that, right?
Yep.
I personally like. I'm more so like a God event kind of like, you know, especially when doing showcases. I feel like it's important to see what's in the God event. And again, with that new event coming up, the key 3 could be nice for some teams that you may run. And the fact that it's to all allies as well, just no restriction, 3 key to everyone is like probably one of the best just effects by itself here, right?
Okay.
In my personal opinion, the 3rd turn is definitely annoying, right? Just because you're not going to see in Super Battle or on a long events it doesn't work. But I feel like for the God event specifically, it's a very good support memory. I feel like the fact that we have the Majin Buu Saga one and good. I feel like the Whiss is like on a similar level.
It's only key. It's only key though. Yeah, I think I have to go with, if we're not. I can kind of agree that maybe it shouldn't be in bad, but I feel like it has to go in mid then.
That's
for
fine,
this
yeah.
one, because like I said, the key buff is nice, but it only gives key. It's for 1 turn and it's on turn 3. So I think
fair,
just compared to some of the other ones,
multiple
yeah,
turns, right?
yeah, exactly.
Just the 1 turn is not the greatest. Right? I get that.
All right, so next up we have Master and Disciple's Goal, the Gohan and Piccolo one. This is Bond of Master and Disciple allies attack and defense 10% for 2 turns from the start of the battle. I mean, I feel like just for consistency, obviously this category is not one that you see run as often, but if you are running that team, I feel like kind of like the other ones, this probably just has to go in good, right?
I would agree, yeah.
For something like Super Battle Road, when you're running that particular category, 2 turns with the buff, like, you know, it's pretty good. We've put other similar ones in there. I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory. So the next one that we have here is Zeno's Welcome Word. So this, of course, was the reward for actually completing the God event. This is Universe Survival Saga category, allies attack and defense 10% in battle. So permanent buff. So again, common sense really dictates that it just goes in great. I mean, after the 6th anniversary, you know, the 2 best units in the game and all those other crazy units that released at the same time, all in that category, and then here's a support memory to give them a permanent buff. So I can't imagine that you would argue that this goes in great. So
I mean, the Universe Survival Saga, that's permanent buff.
Yep. So pretty straightforward. So I want to get your thoughts on this one actually, because so the next one we have is Bond of Sister and Brother, which is the 17 and 18 one. Recovers 18% HP and siblings bond category allies attack and defense 18% for 1 turn when HP is 50% or less once only. So I'm really intrigued to know where you think this one should go before I say what I think.
I would say it's I'd say it's good because it gives healing, which not many like support members give healing, right?
Yep.
Is this like the only one that gives healing?
I believe so.
Believe so, which 18 like almost 20% of your HP is not a bad amount to like heal, right? So I definitely like that. And siblings bond again is not the worst category ever, because like there's like all the Gohan, all the Buu Saga Onward Gohans, all the Buu Saga Onward Gotens, and like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Super, those are on there. Whiss, Beerus is around there. For example, the Tech Dokkan Fest androids are on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good units on there, and given that 18% buff, I'll definitely take that for sure. Because again, it's one of the higher support member buffs. I would say it's definitely a good one.
Yeah, see, I would say I think good, because I don't want to put it in great just because of how it compares to some of the other ones, but I will say that it's probably my go-to one for the GT Goku event or the Vegeta event, just because it is like essentially like bringing an extra healing item. Even if you don't have siblings bond category allies on the team at all, I still bring it for those events, just to get that free extra heal, because obviously it limits the number of items you can bring. So I like to try not to use an item until I get to like a certain stage. So obviously, as we all know, it's very easy to take like a super on the wrong unit on, say, like the 4th or 5th turn in one of those events and lose a lot of HP. You don't really want to heal, so I find that this comes in quite useful. But I would agree with good, just because it probably doesn't quite stack up to some of the ones that are in great. But I definitely feel like this one is one of the better ones for longer events if it's not a permanent buff one. So I'm happy to put that one in good. So for the last orange one here, we have another JP exclusive one, although I think this one is being added to Global very soon, actually, with the new stuff that comes out. This is the Trunks and Mai reunion. All allies attack and defense for 2 turns from the start of battle when there are 2 or more allies of Time Travelers category once only. So, I mean, this is just very similar to these other ones that we've put in good, so I would assume you would agree that this one could just go in good.
Yeah, I would say it goes in good. I would say, honestly, it's slightly better than the other ones, because compared to the other ones that have to give only that category the buff, this one you just need to run 2 units in that category. So you could run 2 Trunkses on, like, Hybrid Saiyans or something, right? And you get all allies that 10% attack and defense buff.
That is very true, actually.
So that's different from you having to run all Time Travelers. So I wouldn't say it compares to the great ones, but if we're going to rank the ones in good, it probably would be one of the better ones compared to like the Masters.
Yeah, I would agree. I could almost see an argument for putting it in great, because we do have some of the shorter term effect ones in great. But yeah, I just think good is a good spot for it.
I think Time Traveler teams is not that great right now. If like Time Traveler is like really popping off, like whenever we get like Goku Black Saga again really popping off, then I could see it as a great one. But right now, it's just really Time Travelers are not the best.
Well, I guess, like you said, it only needs 2 Time Travelers units, and then it gives all allies the buff. So it means, like Realm of Gods, if you have 2 Goku Blacks, then they're all getting the buff.
That's really thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in great.
Just because it's like, it's so easy to get that condition, because there are a lot of characters on that team. Like Bojack, Goku Black.
Yeah, think about like all the heroes units are Time Travelers. So like any teams that they fit in, you only have to have 2 of them. So actually, yeah, that's in terms of the short-term effect ones. That one's actually really, really good. So
probably like the best one.
Maybe, yeah,
because again, it could be all eyes.
Okay,
it's very good.
So next up, we have the 2 green ones. Or I say next up, but last up, we have the 2 green ones. So we have Fly Icarus. All allies attack and defense 10% for 1 turn when HP is 70% or less once only. This is my go-to one for Super Battle Road, outside of these like specific category ones. So what do you think about this one?
I mean, I would say it's kind of similar to the Trunks one. All you have to do is fall under 7% speed and like any team, any game, any unit in the game could use it, right?
Yep.
So I would say it's great just for that, and you get the buffs when you need it in this difficult content, which
Yeah, exactly.
10% attack and defense, it's pretty good. Now the only thing is that it's for one turn compared to the other 2 turns one, but again, I think the fact that you could use it everywhere is just too flexible.
Yeah, exactly. So very, very good. And like you said, it's when you need it, right? You've just taken damage. Now you have some extra defense. I just think it's very useful. And then last, but I would say probably almost certainly least, we have Krillin sings his heart out. All enemies attack minus 5% on the first turn, 4% on the second turn, 3% on the third turn. I mean, for me personally, I would say this is probably an argument between mid or bad. I don't think I've ever used this one.
I think it's literally the worst support member because the GT Goku one is terrible and it's way better.
Well, there you go.
Like you could probably just make literally a separate tier for this one because it's that bad. You're never gonna use this.
You could basically only use it in Super Battle Road, and like many of the other ones that we've talked about are just way better to bring in Super Battle Road instead. And it costs 120 film as well. So like even just compared to the other green one, I think it's way worse.
You can use this or Icarus.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, well, there you go. So that is all the support memories currently available. Obviously, we know with the anniversary that stuff's about to drop, that we're getting a couple more. But this is all the ones that we have available in the game right now. As I said at the start, I know this was the tier list that you all needed to see. And here it is. There you go. The support memories definitively ranked. And very interested to know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So, yeah, I thought this one would just be a fun video to make because I don't really make tier lists a lot. I've talked about how I feel about tier lists in general on Twitter. But I thought this one would be a funny one to make while everybody's pushing out their serious ones. So I want to say a big thank you to Minato for joining me and discussing the good old support memories. Is there anything else you want to add in this monumentous video before we head off?
Sub to me on YouTube at Minato's Flash,
Yes, do this. My boy is getting close to 1K. Let's get him to 1K subs during this JP anniversary. So
I'll just say I'm a DB player, so if you want some extra spicy content for the anniversary, that you're free to play. Got you with the 55% showcases, all that stuff, right? But I'm not gonna go too far into that. I don't want to.
But yeah, you guys obviously know I'm a global main. If you want more of, I will cover a lot of the stuff that's going on during the anniversary. But if you want any of that actual gameplay stuff, make sure you do go over and check out Minato. So there you go. That was the support memory tier list, most important tier list of all time. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And yeah, that is going to be it for this one. So for me and Minato, hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.